Hello friends, welcome to our channel Anand Academy of Education. Today we are going to learn some of the important formulae in limits and continuity chapter. So let's get started. Limits and continuity is one of the easiest chapters in mathematics, and it is very essential for us to remember all the formulae that I am going to teach you throughout this video series. So the first point is that limit x tends to a f of x does not exist only when its left hand limit does not exist or its right hand limit does not exist, or if left hand limit and right hand limit exist, then if they are not equal, then limit does not exist. So for the limit to not exist, what are the conditions, or what are the conditions when limit does not exist? Either left hand limit does not exist or right hand limit does not exist, or if both exist and if they are not equal, then limit does not exist. As simple as that. Limit x tends to a f of x is equal to limit x tends to a f of a plus x, which is again equal to limit x tends to a f of a minus x. Third point, limit x tends to a f of x is equal to 0. Then this implies limit x tends to a mod f of x is equal to 0. Fourth point, limit x tends to a x power n is equal to a power n only when n belongs to n. So if n belongs to n, then limit x tends to a x power n is equal to a power n. Fifth point, limit x tends to a f of x plus or minus g of x is equal to limit x tends to a f of x plus or minus limit x tends to a g of x. So the addition here is written as two independent additions. Sixth point, limit x tends to a k into f of x. K is a constant, is equal to k into limit x tends to a f of x. Seventh point, limit x tends to a f of x into g of x is equal to limit x tends to a f of x into limit x tends to a g of x. Here the product is written as two independent products. Likewise, limit x tends to a f of x by g of x can be written as limit x tends to a f of x by limit x tends to a g of x, and limit x tends to a g of x must not be equal to 0, because if this gets equal to 0, then this whole thing becomes infinite, so it must not be equal to 0. Ninth point, if limit x tends to a f of x is equal to infinity, and if limit x tends to a g of x is equal to infinite, then limit x tends to a f of x plus g of x is equal to infinite. If limit x tends to a f of x is equal to k, and if limit x tends to a g of x is equal to infinite, this is a constant, so when we add both these limits, then the answer would be infinite. 11th point, limit x tends to a f of x whole power n is equal to whole power n limit x tends to a f of x. So these both are same. 12th point, limit x tends to a e power f of x can be written as e power limit x tends to a f of x. This is important. And limit x tends to a f of x must exist. So for this to be true, limit x tends to a f of x must exist. 13th point, limit x tends to a log of f of x can be written as log limit x tends to a f of x, and limit x tends to a f of x must be greater than 0. This must be greater than 0. Limit x tends to a f of x power g of x can be written as e power limit x tends to a g of x into log f of x. So this is it for this lecture, and in the next video we will be learning some more important formulae, and if you want this PDF you can download it from our website www.anandacademyofeducation.com. I will give the link in the description, so you can download this PDF from the given link. Okay friends, we will again meet in the next video.